Fluffy's midweek news meltdown. The world is still circling the drain, because someone has to tell it like it is, and it sure as hell isn't your government. Welcome to Fluffy's midweek news, where I, your favourite feline news anchor, break down the latest global catastrophes, political blunders, and human stupidity with my usual dose of sarcasm, cynicism, and barely restrained disgust. Let's dig into this week's train wreck, shall we? Trump wants to turn Gaza into a beach resort. No, really. In a move so tone-deaf it makes a deaf cat look like Mozart, Trump has suggested that the US should take over Gaza and relocate Palestinians elsewhere, turning the war-torn strip into the Middle Eastern version of Miami Beach. I mean, sure, decades of suffering and conflict can totally be solved with a hotel chain and some overpriced cocktails, right? Nothing screams peaceful resolution like bulldozing history to build a luxury resort. Meanwhile, the rest of the world has responded with a collective WTF, because apparently even in 2025 we're still pretending international law matters. Speaking of bad decisions, boxing is now a retirement home activity. 59-year-old punches his way back into the ring. In what can only be described as a midlife crisis on steroids, former heavyweight champ Oliver McCall decided that being nearly 60 wasn't going to stop him from stepping back into the ring. His opponent? A 52-year-old police sheriff, because apparently watching two senior citizens swing at each other in slow motion is now classified as sports entertainment. At this point, why stop there? Let's get 70-year-olds in the UFC. Better yet, how about wheelchair jousting at the next Olympics? The fight ended after one round because, shocker, getting repeatedly punched in the face at that age is not a great idea. Who knew? And just when you thought people couldn't be any dumber, the NRMA wants to educate bad parents instead of fining them. In today's episode of How Can We Make the Roads Even More Dangerous, Australia's NRMA has proposed that instead of fining parents who fail to strap their kids in properly, we should just educate them. Oh yeah, that'll work. Nothing teaches accountability like a stern lecture after you've already risked your kid's life. Their big plan also includes improving safety around schools, which is cute considering Australia's traffic laws are already about as useful as a cat flap in a submarine. But sure, let's just hope parents magically start giving a shit after a friendly chat. Meanwhile, in the hellscape known as high school, Golden Grove High School, less violence, but still a war zone. Golden Grove High School proudly announced that violent incidents and suspensions have gone down, which would be great news, except that they immediately made headlines again for another violent incident. A 15-year-old girl got injured in a fight, proving once again that teenagers should be legally required to hibernate. The school insists they have a zero-tolerance policy on violence. Right, that's like saying I have a zero-tolerance policy on being woken up before noon. It still happens, and when it does, it's fucking chaos. And in sports, if you can even call this a sport. The Snooker Championship is happening, and nobody cares group. Some of the world's top snooker players, including Kyron Wilson and Judd Trump, are currently battling it out in the Championship League winners group. The winner gets a place in the Champion of Champions tournament, and the loser, well, they get to go back to playing a sport so slow, watching paint dry feels like an action movie in comparison. Snooker, because sometimes you just want to take a nap while pretending to watch sports. Final thought. Humanity is still a lost cause. So to recap, Trump thinks geopolitical conflict can be solved with real estate development. Almost senior citizens are punching each other for sport. The NRMA is out here coddling bad parents instead of fixing the problem. Schools are still one bad day away from becoming UFC Arenas. And snooker is still a sport, apparently. Meanwhile, I, a literal cat, am delivering this news more competently than 90% of mainstream media. Like, share and subscribe, or I will personally knock your phone off the table. Fluffy, signing off.